Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. What's up, chat? It's time for a Your Boy Pants stream. I know it's been a few days. Merry Christmas. What's up, Noah? Merry Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you got everything you asked for and more. How's everybody feeling on this fine Christmas night? Everybody get cool gifts? I know damn sure I got some cool shit. Nice, nice. Funny you mentioned that. So I didn't only get like a new crate to hold my records in, but I got the College Dropout. So, oh, look at that. We both got the College Dropout. That's funny. That's the only record that I got this holiday season. But I didn't particularly ask for any. I actually only got that one because the person who got it for me was like, I saw a record store and I was like, I have to check it out, see if there's anything I could get Daniel. And then she checked it out. And then she saw the College Dropout and she knows that I like that album, so she got it for me. So that was cool. It was a record store in Barcelona, which is kind of cool as well. I got this hoodie. Go New York, go New York, go. What a crazy game they had. Also, hold. I didn't just get this hoodie. I also got, this wasn't for Christmas, this was for Hanukkah, but I got the captain, born to play basketball, Jalen Brunson. I got his jersey, which I was wearing today while watching the game. I'm going to put the hoodie back on because my room's a little chilly. You dropped a battery pack on... Oh no, it dented power. That's annoying. It's one of the best songs on that hoe. Well, arguably. It's a lot of competition on that track list, so it's hard to say for sure. No, I'm not putting my headphones back on right this sec. I'm gonna give them a second to charge. I'll put them on when I need them. I got a stack of some clothes behind me. Also, for those of you who aren't super keen, my brother got me an Etsy custom LED sign that says "Your Boy Pants" on it with the YouTube logo. It's not on right now because the cables that it came with are incredibly short, so I just can't plug it in from there right now. I'm gonna have to get some longer cables, which isn't the end of the world, but I will have to do that. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I got. Also, I do think there's a very likely chance that we play a little bit of Pokemon tonight, because that's kind of the only game I've really been playing off stream. Even I've been playing some Fortnite off stream, but I'm definitely not playing Fortnite on stream. But I got the Switch 2 Pro controller. 2 new Tyler songs. I listened to Sag Harbor Freestyle. There's a second one? I actually didn't even really listen to Sag Harbor Freestyle. I saw it, listened to it briefly, and then saved it to listen to later. What was the other one? You know, Sag Harbor is, well, I don't want to say it's not too far from where I live. It is pretty far from where I live, but, you know, general area. Huh. What did he release that on? Did he also put that on Instagram? Because I didn't see that. Put on YouTube. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, is there anything else cool that I got that I could show off? One thing, not necessarily putting this to say expect streams of this game, but I did finally get Black Ops 7. I can't play it now. My PlayStation is at school in Arizona. I didn't feel like traveling with it. So I will probably be playing a decent amount of that once I get back. However, I don't know how much I'm gonna stream it. I don't know. I don't stream COD very much. Listen to the alt intro. I know you have heard the real. I've heard the alt intro from the what's it called? The Flognaw video. I saw that. I can't react to it on stream. I'll get a copyright claim. Yeah, I reacted to it in the Discord channel. I think I did like a fire emoji or whatever. I don't necessarily have any suggestions for what you could add. I think it's comp. I feel like you don't really have any empty space on your walls. I feel like you kind of filled it out pretty nicely. I think it's tough. Ring 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 ring. Pick up the phone. I've not been tapped in with listening to music again. I think tomorrow is gonna be a day of getting I think the next week is gonna be a lot of music listening. I want to have everything I want to listen to listened to by ideally like by the time I get back to school, like halfway through January, but really just by the end of January, by February, I want to have the full tier list video out. I never do it in January, but the videos still do pretty well when I put them out like a month or so. I put last year or this year's, I should say. No, I put the 2024 one out in March and it still did pretty well. So I think it's less than a minute. I mean, yeah, I will still certainly get a copyright claim. When we watched that Minecraft video searching for a world that doesn't exist, I got several copyright claims from the music used in that video. So I'm assuming the creator paid for rights to use the music, so he didn't get claimed, but reacting to it got the video claimed. Like, it wasn't like a thing where it was like, if ads are placed on this video at any point, you can't make money on it. But I don't like having claims stacked up because I don't think it can negatively impact my channel as a whole, but I don't want to really take any chances. So I always like mute those sections, or at least mute the music in those sections. So yeah. During Flognaw, me and my friend got a big ass Tupperware thing full of hot Cheetos. Did you go to Flognaw? You didn't tell me that. I feel like that's something you would have told me. I want to go to Flognaw someday. It seems like it would be cool, but it's just not near me. Like the same shit with like the Lyrical Lemonade Festival. It's always in like, I think, North Carolina or something. Impractical. Ring, 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 ring. Pick up the phone. Ah. There was one more thing that I got that I would like to show off a little bit. I did get the pants that I'm currently wearing, as well as some pants that are right behind me. But got some new kicks for the first time in a minute. Some Air Force Ones, purple snake skin, and then some neutral browns and beiges. So tough. Let me see if you could... Yeah, you can't really tell the color very easily. It's just shit lighting that I have, but these shits are tough. Never had Forces, and that's the one pair of Forces that I actually really wanted, so very happy that I got those. W parents. Ring, 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 ring. Pick up the phone. Hello? Ring, 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 ring. Pick up the phone. And I hope I can see you again. I miss you. I'm trying to think of what order I want to do shit. I kind of went in with no particular plans. I do think I plan on playing a little bit of Pokemon on stream. If not, we'll do other stuff, and then I'll end stream and probably play Pokemon off stream for a little bit. But we'll see. Because I don't have any plans of what I would do in the game. Outside of just, like, fuck around a little bit, I guess. But... I was thinking about maybe reacts. Maybe some react stuff. Maybe watch some videos. We haven't watched a Killdozer video in forever. We could watch a couple of those maybe. Was good. My shiny luck has been insane. Nice, nice. Oh, that's one thing that I can do in Pokemon today. I could show you guys some stuff that I got. I won't even tell you guys right now. Okay, I'll ask the few people who are active in chat right now. Do we do some React stuff now and maybe Pokemon later, or do I hop on Pokemon right now and show you guys some shit that I've got and fuck around a little bit, and then maybe do Reacts after that? Because the order doesn't really matter to me. The only thing is, if we do Reacts first and we find enough stuff that I want to react to, or the Reacts take long enough, we probably won't play Pokemon on stream. So I guess the question is, do you guys want some Legends EA? Because if you don't, then we very much so do not have to play Legends EA on stream. I don't mind. But if you want me to, I'm glad to. Also, Epic, I did just show this, but I did get the Switch 2 Pro controller. I haven't set it up yet. I pulled it out of the box just to give it a feel, but I'm very excited. Shiny Lucario, Scolipede, Blastoise, Feraligatr, Greninja, Dragalge, Aggron, Venusaur, and Alpha don't tell me what Zam. Alakazam. That's what it is. It's got to be Alakazam. Plus a bunch of other random shinies. Most were random. I mean, Shiny Lucario is awesome. Shiny Scolipede, especially with the Mega, so good. Shiny Blastoise is great. Shiny Feraligatr is amazing. Greninja has one of the best shinies ever. Dragalge has an amazing shiny. Aggron has an amazing shiny. Venusaur has a great shiny. I don't love Shiny Alakazam, but a Shiny Alpha is cool regardless. Actually, no, I don't. It's just the pink. It's a upgrade from the non-shiny. I just think it's a slight one, personally. All right, let me. Ring, 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 ring. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, girl. It is a really nice controller, chat. I must fucking say. I must fucking say it's a nice fucking controller, yeah. Epic, how was your Christmas? Get anything cool? Fun holiday season if you don't celebrate Christmas? Also to all of my fellow Jews out there, Hanukkah ended by the time between my last stream and this one, so that's why I showed off my Jalen Brunson jersey earlier, because I did get that on the last night of Hanukkah. Hope I could see you again. Haven't even beat Rayquaza yet. I'm too lazy to get the 100k research points. See, I've heard a lot of people complain about how grindy the DLC is or feels, and I kind of see it retroactively, but I didn't feel that way playing through it at all, because it was like, yeah, it was a lot of research points, but I was just resetting the zones every time I ran out of zones that had Pokemon that I hadn't caught yet, and I was just treating it like completing my Pokedex before beating the DLC. I'm in a resort in Mexico right now. It's pretty chill. Oh, that's fucking sick. That's awesome. That's probably a great time. Pick up the phone, girl. Does anybody know if Switch controllers usually come with a charge? I mean, the cable's long enough. I should be able to play anyway with it, but... And I hope I could see you again. Damn, I really got this song stuck in my head right now just because we were talking about Tyler, the Creator. Alright, you know what, Epic? I don't want to say you've convinced me, because you didn't really try to convince me, but I am going to hop on Pokemon. Mega Lucario is way too short, bro. I honestly disagree. I think it being really short kind of makes sense to me, because it's kind of like little dog size. Like, it's more human shaped, but it's still like dog sized, you know? Like, there aren't that many dogs that if they stood up on two legs would be, what's it called? The height of a human person. Alright, the controller is synced. Let me just... Okay, it's at full charge. Okay, perfect. Alright, we're gonna play some Pokemon, because now you got me in a Pokemon mood with all the talk of shinies, and I do want to show off some of the stuff that I've gotten off stream in the past handful of days. So that's what we're gonna do. Why does that have like an exclamation mark? Oh shit. Excuse me. How to use the GL and GR buttons, the grip buttons right here. I should probably bind these. I want to bind one of them to A for accelerate when I play Mario Kart. Does Feraligatr get Dragon Claw? Yes, but it's a TM that you have to. I mean, just look up where you find it. I don't remember, but it's not like one that. I think it might be a side. I don't know if it's a side quest. I think it might just be in a weird spot. I know Dragon Pulse was like on top of the Rust Syndicate, so. Quick settings and map the buttons. Keep playing with the same mapping, be player 1. Launch software. Oh, I have to have the game open to assign buttons. Oh, does it assign the buttons in specific games? Oh, wait, that. Hold on. Can I assign GLGR buttons differently in different games? Switch to. Per game basis? Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, chat, I do feel like I owe a bit of an explanation as to why I haven't streamed much. Obviously, the main reason, spending time with the family. But on the nights where I've had, like, downtime and not been doing anything, I just haven't felt particularly well the past many days. And I also have been working. And on the days that I work, I do have to wake up early, so I can't, like, be starting stream at 11 p.m. like I am right now. I'm kind of pissed they didn't implement the primal weathers into normal battles. I'm not, just because they would be disgustingly powerful if they were to get allowed and ranked in any seasons, and that would piss me off. So I don't hate it. It's definitely more of it's much more of a nerf to Groudon than it is Kyogre, because Fire Ground without the water weakness is a really good typing defensively, because you're only weak to. Are you only weak to ground? Yeah, you're only weak to ground. That's wicked. Anyway. Alright, so what should these buttons even do? Like, I can make it, like, dodge? Like, what would be good to map in this game? Does anybody know, like, what would be, like, a... What would make sense? Like, I could do the map or the X menu. I could do that for, like, crouching, like, roll, crouch. Or maybe I could, like, use this to do, like, some kind of sequence of moves. Should I fight Primal Groudon fight with Primal Kyogre, and the Primordial Seed didn't proc, so Kyogre was just useless? I mean, yeah. I personally don't have any gripes with that, because then that fight would be far too easy. Like, I wailed through Phase 1 of Groudon with Feraligatr. And then I just relied on Garchomp for Phase 2. And it still wasn't, like, I still beat it first try. Like, it wasn't easy. I almost lost a couple times, but I beat it first try. So I don't think it's, I think it was fair that, like, when you use them, they don't have the abilities, and when you fight them as bosses, they do. Because, you know, it's a boss fight. It's like a typical thing in video games. The boss is really powerful, but they're not nearly as powerful when you can use them. I heard, this is really unrelated, but I recently heard there's DLC for Expedition 33, so we might have to play that on stream at some point, because that game was incredible. That's probably my game. It's hard to say it's my game of the year. I put a lot more hours into this game than I put into Expedition 33. I put more hours into this game than Expedition 33 by like by the time this game was like 2 days old. Maybe 3, but still. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. I'm trying to think if there's like 2 buttons that I could combo easily. Like, what buttons do you use a lot? Yeah, it's true. They are. I'm trying to think, because, like, the A, B, X, Y are also your attacking buttons. So like I don't know if binding like 2 of these to those would be good, like for this one in particular. So maybe if I make it like plus for the map. I mean, I feel like there's not really anything particularly useful in this game. Like, let me think. I'm like moving around my fingers to think of like, is there anything with like ABXY and the right stick where like I don't want to move my fingers off ABXY? Not really. Not in this game. You know what? I have an idea. For cycling Pokeballs. I think that's the method. So then if I'm aiming, I don't have to take my hand off the right stick. Yeah. Yeah, that's the method right there, chat. Anyway, you guys can see some of the Pokemon that I got. I share a couple in common with Epic. I did do some, ironically, I did a lot of Golisopod shiny hunting, and I did get myself a lot of shiny Wimpod, and I did evolve one of them. And I decided, after careful consideration, and looking at the color schemes of Mega Golisopod and Shiny Mega Golisopod, and how much I liked the Alpha, that I was gonna stick with a regular Golisopod. I think the color scheme on the Mega is way cooler. Yo, what's up, Neon? How you doing, man? Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy holidays otherwise if not. I think that's just like ridiculous luck, Epic, because I could use this for Pokemon too. Oh, I didn't think about that. But because the Totodile isn't affected by that. Check Discord, picture of a shirt you got. Hold on, let me check. I probably won't be able to pull it up on stream just because of how I got this set up right now. But oh, that's pretty tough. If we're showing off a couple of things, I did get this hoodie, and I showed this also, but I got a Jalen Brunson jersey, which I have on underneath. Go Knicks. Pro controller. What else? I'm gonna show these off again. New sneakers. Love these. Air Force Ones, purple snakeskin, and beige and brown. So tough. Bench resetting portals in Zone 20. I'm gonna just spawn in front of me. That's awesome. Anyway, so as I was saying, I did decide to stick with a non-shiny Golisopod because I like the non-shiny Mega a little bit more. And this is Todson. We also have Tank, my shiny large female Venusaur. And here these two might be a little bit cooler. Shiny Alpha Aggron. This is Tarnish. And Shiny Alpha Golurk. This is Warden. This guy took me a little while to get. I did my first wave of hunting this guy on stream. Didn't get a single shiny in there. And then I did a second run of that zone. Got like 5 shiny Golett, a shiny Onix, and the shiny Alpha. So, pretty sick. Also got a Koenigsegg Jesco logo set. Cool. Car freshener, nice. Windshield cleaning tool with microfiber cloths, nice. Windshield snow scraper, nice. If a girl give me $150. Oh, tight. That's fire. I also got a couple other guys that I'm probably never going to use in this game in particular. So this is Hieroglyph, the Runerigus, and this is Osiris, the Cophagrigus. I did mention I wanted both of these guys shiny. I just don't particularly enjoy using non-mega evolving Pokemon in this game. I think it's way less fun. The only one that I will probably use at all is Annihilate, but that's like for farming rogue megas, and I'm also not even gonna probably like catch one in this. I'll wait till home comes out. Maybe I actually, I don't know. I might catch one in this. We'll see. But yeah, shiny Alpha Golurk, I'm very happy with. And this, so I did mention this guy took me a while. Tarnish over here. I got the goat donut. I can show you guys. Sparkling Power, all types, level 3, and Alpha Power, level 3. So I used that on an Aron one. And you know, when you have Sparkling Power 3, you're guaranteed a shiny in your first spawn zone. The first shiny was an Alpha Aron. I got incredibly lucky with that. I was so happy. So that was really nice. Actually, the Cofagrigus as a Yamask was also my first shiny spawn in that zone because it was a Sparkling Power 3. The Runerigus was a little different. I got like 2 shiny Litwick and a shiny Lampent before I got that. Shiny Greninja was also random. Flew to zone 16 for a portal, and there just so happened to be a shiny Froakie. That's awesome. An F1 shirt and In-N-Out socks. That's awesome. Well, watch Tarnish mog this guy's Aggron, or this lady's Aggron. Get fucking mogged, pussy. So yeah, I got a squad of cool new Pokemons. My favorite though is definitely Toddson. I love me some Golisopod. War Thunder event going on right now, so I've been grinding that out. That's unsurprising. Fork found in kitchen. Neon found playing War Thunder. I'm trying to think if the up and down D-pad buttons would be useful for my grip buttons to bind them to that in this game. I guess not really, because like you have to stop walking to send out a Pokemon anyway. 12-pack of Ghost Energy, nice. See, outside of side quests, I don't have much to do in this. Like, I played ranked till I got the Baxcaliburite, but I don't have an interest in getting to rank A this season, to be honest. The one I've actually been hunting is Gengar. We've gotten a shiny Patrat, and the Weedle and Kakuna that spawn right next to the zone. Just keep at it. Just spam it a bunch. Don't even check it for like a half an hour. Like, I hunted in that zone to get Honedge, and before I got Honedge, I got... Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So yeah, we got Spinarak, Ghastly, Ghastly, Spinarak, Ghastly, Spinarak, Ghastly, Patrat, Ghastly, Ghastly, Alpha Ghastly, Ghastly, Patrat, Alpha Ghastly, Ghastly. I got 2 Alpha Ghastlies before I got a Honedge. And then I randomly got another shiny Honedge in the same zone that I got the shiny Alpha Aggron. So yeah. I've got a lot of Pokemon. I've had to release many full boxes of Pokemon. I wish Phalanx didn't suck ass. I've said that so many times, but I really wish Phalanx wasn't terrible. Listen, it's worth it. The event plane is going to be one of the fastest in the game. That's cool. I don't really want Alpha Gengar. It's too big and kind of clips through a lot of places. Oh, does it? I don't think I've seen Alpha Gengar. So you'll definitely... I'm surprised you didn't get Ghastly first, to be honest. Like, if you look at mine... My first 2 were a Ghastly and an Alpha Ghastly. I got a lot of shiny Ghastly, more than anything else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 shiny Ghastly. I was talking to MJ the other day. His brother, who's a couple years younger, recently, he was into Pokemon a while back, like when me and MJ were kids, and he was obviously still younger than us. But bro, hold on, I got this. I need to game the system here. But he recently got back into Pokemon, so he was looking at some of his like DS save files, and he had like forever ago, like we're talking years ago, given up on a Houndour like Masuda method shiny hunt, and he had a bunch of he had like a bunch of unhatched eggs from this shiny hunt. He starts hatching them. The second one, shiny Houndour. Is that not insane? That's such a crazy story. What if I just stay on the ladder? What happens? What are you gonna do? I'll stay on the ladder. That's the answer. I would actually pay $10 to get Miraidon in this game. Like, for traveling. Top speed of Mach 4.4. That's insane. I know, it just puts me to the bottom of the ladder. You gotta understand that, like, quality of life gets to a point where it's, like, game ruining. If traversing the area were that easy in this game, it just wouldn't be fun to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool because it makes the map feel bigger than it actually is. Is there anything worth hunting? Gotta add more ladders. I mean, yeah, some places are quite convoluted to get to. That's Ampharos. What do you get for completing the decks? I don't even know. I'm assuming nothing. The DLC decks, I mean. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, when you have to run around a building to go to a building, because the only way to get on top of a certain building is to go on top of a different building a few buildings away, and, like, glide across from rooftop to rooftop. I, in general, agree that it can be annoying at times, but again, I also think if it were gone, it would kind of, like, it would kind of stink, because it would just be, it would feel different, and I feel like that would be for the worst. I like that I could just use First Impression whenever I want. When it comes to what's it called? The like breaking shit, because it's super fast and the cooldown's not too bad. To get to that speed, you gotta go like 43,000 meters altitude. Mach 1.7. That's still quite quick. That's like, what, 1,000 miles an hour? Man, I'm so happy they made Shiny Glyspot, and I'm so happy they didn't drop the ball with it. I can't really complain with the batch of Pokemon. Like, sure, they gave Pyroar a Mega, and it fucking sucks ass. But they gave Feraligatr a Mega, and they gave Golisopod a Mega, and they're both great Megas. Like before Legends EA came out, and before we even knew about a Mega Feraligatr in general, the main Pokemon I wanted to get a Mega Evolution was Feraligatr. It's my favorite Pokemon. And then you guys, I'm assuming all of you that are watching right now heard me say it at least once, that leading into the DLC, the main Pokemon I wanted to get a Mega was Golisopod before I even knew Golisopod was going to be in the DLC. Yo, what's up, Turtle? What use is Mega Shards? So there are a bunch of different things Mega Shards are used for. Before beating the game, leading to, like, beating the main game, they're the only way you could get some of the Mega Stones to Mega Evolve certain Pokemon. Once you've acquired all of those, you can use them to get, like, certain resources. Like, there are certain moves that you can only get access to with Mega Shards. There are... What else? In one instance, there's a Pokemon that you can only get... Actually, two instances. There are Pokemon that you can only get if you spend a certain amount of Mega Shards on certain things. So, they're very useful for a lot of different reasons. Just keeping all mine for Magearna. Honestly, if you're not going to get Magearna for a while, that's not the smartest way to go about it. I would argue you're probably better off spending on, what's it called? Spending on the drives for Genesect, or at least getting TMs for moves that you fuck with. Before that, because you can get to max in, like, 2 zones if you just go into a hyperspace zone and clear out all the Mega Shards and make that, like, your priority. You could get a lot of Mega Shards doing that. I mean, yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, like, getting to max is really easy if you are willing to just spend an entire, like, hyperspace zone just clearing out Mega Shards. What was I about to do? I was about to see how many shards. I think I might be at max now. No, I'm not even close to max. Alright, cool. I wonder what the best moveset's going to be on Golisopod. Curve fast aircraft in the game is the American Jet Strike aircraft. The F-111F Aardvark. It can go Mach 4.4. That's just, like, unfathomably fast. Like, Mach 4.4, how long does it take for you to go, like, around, like, do a full straight lap of Earth at Mach 4.4? Now, question. Mach 4.4 means 4.4 times the speed of sound. The speed of sound obviously varies at different altitudes. Is it always 4.4 times the speed of sound, or is it 4.4 times the speed of sound where we are, like, at our altitude? Like, saying if it goes Mach, let's just say something goes Mach 1 at, like, just sea level, but it goes Mach 4.4 at 10,000 meters. That implies that the Mach is the same factor being multiplied, right? Take less than 7.5 hours to go around the Earth. That's insane. Does it get body press? I don't know if Golisopod gets body press in Sword and Shield. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I checked that when I was building or looking to build Golisopod in this game. I saw it didn't get body. I saw body press wasn't in this game, but I looked just for fun. But I will double check. I'm pretty sure it does not, though. It would be insane if it got body press. No, it doesn't get body press. It doesn't look like. If it does, it's certainly gonna get body press. Let me. No, it doesn't get body press. If they give it body press, I'm obviously gonna run body press, because that would be wicked. Pretty sure Aggron gets body press And by pretty sure, I mean I'm 100% sure. So does Steelix. So Body Press with their Megas is going to be gross. I'm thinking they probably strip that out of their learn pool in Champions. Because Body Press for Mega Steelix and Mega Aggron is literally the highest offensive stat that you could possibly use ever in Pokemon. Mega Golisopod and Primal Kyogre synergy goes kind of crazy. Oh my god, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Because I know damn well Primal Kyogre is going to be meta in whatever formats it's allowed in. Or regulations it's allowed in, I guess I should say. Man, Mega Golisopod might be a super meta pick then. Mega Golisopod would go so well with Primal Kyogre. Because it already gets its hands... Literally, it gets its feet wet, you could argue, with having water moves. Which, even when Mega evolved, would stay boosted from the rain. But also, its Mega Golisopod's only weakness is fire. Exactly, so before you Mega Evolve, your water moves do a shit ton of damage. After you Mega Evolve, they still do considerable damage. As if they were Stab. And your only weakness is now only a 2x weakness, and your special defense is... What? What is its special defense? 120. I was about to say 90. 120, and your physical defense is 175. That thing's untouchable if you just invest in the HP. Mach 1 is just... Okay, that's what I thought. I figured it would be, like, static. For, like... Like, the Mach multiplier is just what the speed of sound is at, like, sea level. That makes sense to me. I don't know what IAS and TAS mean. When I see TAS, I just think, like, TAS, like, tool-assisted speedruns. I've watched a lot of Summoning Salts videos. Is this L content? I know we're just chatting, but like, should I not have the game on? Because I am kind of just running in circles collecting Mega Shards right now. I do not have all the Floettes for you. I don't know if that's what you're asking of me, but I don't have that, so I'm not even gonna try. Nah, fuck it, I'll try. Indicated airspeed and true airspeed. I see. Champions dual restricted is gonna be insane. I know. I think Champions no restricted Pokemon allowed will be elite, and that'll be a really fun time. Dude, get out of... Okay, fuck off. Todson, kill her. Todson, use first impression on her! Chat, you didn't see that. She's dead. Look at this behemoth, though. Alpha Mega Golisopod is elite. So some people were underwhelmed with this Mega. I don't know what... People have high expectations. I don't know why. Look at Mega Lucario. This changes more than Mega Lucario. Can't wait for Miraidon, Primal, Groudon, Discharge, Precipice every turn. Oh, jeez. Watch, people are gonna start running like Big Root. What's it called? Parabolic Charge. So, question. So Big Root boosts the damage that draining moves do by 30%, but it also boosts the healing by 30%. So doesn't that mean the healing is compound boosted by the power boost making it deal more damage and the fact that the healing multiplier is better? Because I've run Leech Seed with Big Root, and it's actually pretty good. Surf Mega Rayquaza is the... I mean, Mega Rayquaza could eat the shit out of some Surfs, so I wouldn't even be surprised. Indicated airspeed decreases as you climb higher because the mechanism to measure it registers less pressure, and the true airspeed increases as you climb higher, requiring faster movement for the same aerodynamic effect. So I'd imagine true airspeed, as it sounds like it is by saying true speed, is literally just how fucking fast you're moving. And it's not like it's not taking into account the fact that there's less pressure as you go higher. It's just how fast you're going. and the indicated airspeed is taking that into account. I see. Okay, I see. I thought Big Root only healed more. No, I'm pretty sure Big Root makes draining moves deal more damage. I think they changed that in Gen 8? I'll look it up, though. I might be wrong. Does Big Root increase... it's in my... I've searched it before. 5 years ago. Okay, so the AI overview says that it increases the amount of HP you recover for moves that drain health by an additional 30%. Doesn't change at all. Let's check on r/Stunfisk though. This is from This is from 2020, so this is in Gen 8. Big Root now increases the damage of draining moves instead of just the healing. Leech Seed, Ingrain, Strength Sap, and Aqua Ring are unchanged. That makes sense. This would turn Big Root from a mostly useless item that gets out-healed by leftovers into a fairly niche boosting item for Pokemon such as Magearna, Tapu Fini, or even Conkeldurr. Would it see play? So I'm thinking that I'm a little bit off. There's no compound on the healing. Instead of getting 30% more healing, you're doing 30% more damage, which in turn is giving you that 30% more healing. I mean, Calyrex Ice is... What's its special defense? 100? Ice Rider Calyrex special defense is... Oh, it's 130. Damn. Oh, so it's a pretty minuscule difference then, Neon. But it is also Terra Fairy, Geomancy, Xerneas, so I guess that makes sense. That's OHKOing most things. I'm looking at your Float. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that. Alright, Tarnish, I have a job for you. I haven't really gotten to use you in a fight yet. "5,000 feet with an IS of 100 knots. Okay, I see. I see. Alright, Tarnish. Oh, I'm fighting all you at once. Alright, use Iron Tail. Use Iron Head. Walking Wake with Primal Groudon. I mean, yeah. Oh, jeez. I could totally imagine people running that. I wonder, do you think that that Hydro Steam would be affected by Desolate Land, though? Or do you think they'd make that an exception? Because even if you do that, if Hydro Steam doesn't work, I honestly, it's still a valid thing to run if you just don't run water moves. Like, that's not an outrageous thing to do. I honestly thought I was gonna have to show her Eternal Flower Float. Hydro Steam does evaporate. I mean, there's no way that we would know that until Champions comes out, right? Yeah, I'd imagine the differences get more drastic when you're like OD high up. Alright, I really don't care, maybe. Oh, new hair colors. Cool. I think I'm good. I think this one's closest to my hair in real life. It's the closest I've been able to get to my real life hair color in any video game ever. Wow. Oh, also, I got the shiny Phalanx bag from doing another one of those stupid double battles in hyperspace, and it goes really nicely with my outfit, so I did change my satchel to the shiny Phalanx. I feel, honestly, I'm conflicted, because I think logic-wise, both, like, common sense logic and in-game mechanics logic-wise, I don't think Hydro Steam should evaporate. However, I kind of want it to, because it would be a really overpowered duo. Should I try putting the work for everything except what I'm hunting for? I feel that, bro. Trust me, bro. I hunted Drampa and Skarmory. And Drampa was before the DLC. Before you could find it in hyperspace. The fuck? Where the Heliante? Oh, is this zone 5? Wait, no, this is zone 10. What the shit? Where do I have to go for this? I want to check how many shards I'm at now. 535. Alright, cool. Close to being able to afford a TM. Well, we could afford most of them. I just don't know which one I would want to get. How do I get down there? Alright, whatever. We'll just do some side quests. I don't really feel like playing ranked right now. Yeah, let's let Warden get some playtime. Okay. Miraidon Z move. I'm gonna be honest. In general, a Miraidon Z move probably wouldn't be that much better than Electro Drift. Like, it would hit like a truck, but you gotta remember, that's got that fucking buff. The super effectiveness buff. Where it does, like, 50% more damage when it's super effective. But for neutral and not very effective, I guess the Z move would still be better. I'm really upset that they're bringing Z moves back. I'm honestly also upset that they're bringing Dynamax back. Alright, watch this. I'm gonna fool you first try. Oh. Okay, you're just gonna die. Want some fuck shit like Twinkle Tackle Miraidon? You could. Because doesn't it get Dazzling Gleam? Oh, no, it doesn't get Dazzling Gleam. I'm tripping. It would just be... Don't the Fairy Miraidons just run Fairy Terra Blast? So that wouldn't work. These moves totally broke this fight. It does get Dazzling Gleam? Oh, shit. Why does Miraidon... It shouldn't get that move. That's stupid that it gets Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, yeah, it's not cooler. I didn't use it once because I broke you with my long attacks. Dynamax is also such a problem. I see that's what I'm saying. I was mad about Z moves because I think Z moves in general are lame as fuck, and I think a lot of people agree with me on that. Dynamax is just overpowered. So the one thing that bothers me is I think the concept of a regulation with all of the gimmicks is really cool and canonically accurate. However, in a regulation with all the gimmicks, I think I would imagine you're only allowed to use one. And if that's the case, Dynamax is gonna dominate. It's way better. Dude. I also adamantly believe you shouldn't be able to Dynamax legendaries. They specifically made it so you can't Dynamax Eternatus, Zacian, and Zamazenta. And then every other legendary you can Dynamax. Calyrex even has like a special thing where it's like it has the Dynamax energy inside of it, so it doesn't even need a power spot to Dynamax. Fuck Dynamax. I hope they let you make custom rule sets, but I know damn well they're not going to do that because they've never let you do that. I would, if I'm playing with my friends, I'm running Terra and Megas only. Because I love Terra, I love Megas, I think they would be really fun to use in tandem, but I doubt they will ever be in a regulation where it's just the two of them, even though that's how they kind of marketed it in that first trailer. I was really hoping it would just be Terras and Megas. Jesus Christ. Dynamax is broken. certain Pokemon... Legendaries should not be able to Dynamax. I've been saying that. I'll continue to say that. I shouldn't be able to Dynamax Black Kyurem in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Shouldn't be able to Dynamax Xerneas. Shouldn't be able to Dynamax fucking Thundurus. Shouldn't be able to Dynamax Kyogre. Oh my god, Dynamax Kyogre. Oh, I started this quest. I don't remember what it was, though. Oh, you want me to give you a Feebas? I don't even have a Feebas to give you. I have one Feebas. And I need to evolve that one. So, you're SOL, buddy. Please don't tell me I released my only Feebas. I'm gonna kill myself. In-game. I released my only fucking Feebas. I'm such a dumbass! Fuck. Why would I do that shit? Alright, low-key. Light's giving me a headache. I'm turning that bitch off. Terra Xerneas is probably actually better than Dynamax because you have to Geoman and see before maxing anyway. I mean, yeah. Probably. Oh, I should do this. I don't want to, though. Because I have to change my party and shit. That's true. Eat tamales right now? Nice. I haven't had a tamale. I guess it hasn't been that long. I haven't had a good tamale in a minute. What was the last time I had a good tamale? Couldn't even tell you. I'm not making that. There we go. Yeah, it's just super well rounded. Fuck off, you don't see anything, Vidro. Fight me. It'd be really funny if the Pokemon were smart, and if you, like, sent out a Pokemon that was super effective on it, it just, like, fled and de-aggroed. Bulkier than a Mungus? Yeah, probably. It's a legendary Pokemon. The stat spread allows for a Mungus bulk on top of other things. A Mungus isn't just, like, abnormally disgustingly bulky. It's very bulky on top of just, like, not being restricted. And having the learn pool that it has. I could tell you the side-by-side comparison, though, because now I'm kind of curious. Amoonguss is rocking... Yeah, it's way bulkier than Amoonguss. Amoonguss is rocking 114 HP, 70 defense, 80 special defense. Xerneas is way higher than that. Xerneas is 126 HP, 95 defense, 98 special defense. Yeah, every single one of its defensive stats is higher than Amoonguss's. That doesn't even surprise me. Choice Band Xerneas is actually usable. For what move in particular? I think it's just not worth it, though. You get so much more out of its special attack, because its physical attack, I was just looking at its stats, but what's its physical attack, like 100? Oh no, I keep forgetting that they're perfectly mixed attackers. 131 in each. It's just the learn pool difference. Just play rough, since I think both, yeah, both attacks are equal. But play rough is just, it's just not worth it, though. It's not 100 accuracy. It's 95, no, it's 90 power, right? Or is it 95 power, 90 accuracy? Either way. Moonblast is 95 power, 100 accuracy. And then you also have Dazzling Gleam as the spread move. I still think the move is going to be have Dazzling Gleam, have Moonblast, then the Rock Geomancy and Rock of Power. Like, I still feel like that's low-key kind of the way to go. Fourth move, I mean, you could go a lot of different ways. I personally like having Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam. But, you know, that's a personal preference thing. Oh, I gotta show you guys something cool from one of the side quests in this game. Specs Moonblast, Flutters. Dude, you're a demon. I fucking hate Flutter Mane. Any Pokemon that is very good, that is generally lame, I am not a fan of. I do not like when they make Pokemon that I don't think are cool very good. And they do that a lot more than they make Pokemon that I think are cool very good. So, there's a side quest where you get to name a street in this game. Unfortunately, they didn't do the little bit of effort it would take to put the name on the mini-map, which I thought was kind of lame. But alas, I did give it a name. This is going to be a niche reference. These are the people that are trying to change his name. So this road is called Banshee's Hideout. Those who know, know. Those who don't know simply don't. I want to test something out that I'm curious about. Because I just always don't register the whole plus move thing. What is... Okay, it is just one big water shuriken. Interesting. It just doesn't have the cool animation, which I kind of wasn't expecting it to. Choice Band Incineroar next to Primal Groudon. Why would you ever want Choice Band Incineroar, though? I just think that there's so many options for Incineroar, and most of them are better than Choice Band. Anything that prevents you from rocking Fake Out or Parting Shot, let alone both of them, I think is like almost invalid. Like I think it's just not a good option in general. Obviously, you can use whatever the fuck you want to use, but I do not see the value in that. Closed team sheets shenanigans. I'll be honest, I fucking love closed team sheets. Which is why I'm happy I don't participate in actual competitions, because everything is closed team sheet pretty much. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna hit. Alright, I love how fast Garchomp flies when it's got the speed buff. What was I about to do? Oh yeah, I was checking my Mega Shards again. 726. Alright, cool. That's one of my favorite things about Terra. I think Terra in open team sheets becomes actually like 10 times lamer than it is with closed team sheets. Because like the meta is so different. There's a definite best few options for any Pokemon when you're rocking open team sheets, so everybody gets to know what you're rocking with beforehand. When you're rocking with closed team sheets, like any online ranked type shit, you could just run some crazy fuck shit that's fun and unpopular or unexpected or untraditional, and it'll work because of its unexpectedness. Because they'll see a Pokemon, have a preconceived notion about what the potential options are, and then they just won't be ready for what you have. I like that because I like playing Pokemon doing fun, unique shit with fun, unique Pokemon. I don't like just doing the meta-defining stuff, and I think open team sheets kills that in general, but especially with Terra. But I do understand why they do it for, like, VGC, like, official tournaments and stuff. I do think it would get out of hand, but in general, I just think it's a billion times less fun if they know all my Terra types and shit. And my movesets. I think that's lame. Overheat Primal Groudon is my secret sauce. I mean, that is a good thing to just fire out. It's not like the special attack drops really harming you very much. I do still want to get Shiny Blaziken in this game. I don't know if there's a hot take, but I do kind of like Shiny Blaziken. It's really subtle, but I think it's an upgrade. They could have done so much more with Shiny Sirfetch'd. I think Shiny Sirfetch'd is lame as fuck. I guess lame as fuck isn't right. It's funny as shit, but I think it just looks bad. The idea of doing like rubber ducky colors is really funny. Oh, I can't throw Pokeballs in certain places. That's odd. Like, what? Why? It'll just bounce off shit anyway. I'm just doing this so I can get in the habit of using my new grip buttons to cycle through my balls when I'm in hyperspace and shit. I think Mega Rayquaza may have been power creep, not gonna lie. I mean, the problem is not just how powerful Pokemon like Miraidon and Zacian are. It's the fact that those Pokemon specifically beat Rayquaza. You know what I'm saying? It's because Zacian is a fucking Steel Fairy type and Rayquaza is a Dragon type. It's because Miraidon is a Dragon type that is considerably faster than Rayquaza. I don't. What's Mega Rayquaza's base speed? Does it change? Or is it still 95? It's 115. But again, Miraidon is still quite a bit faster than that. Does Shadow Rider Calyrex really cook Mega Rayquaza? I don't know. 105 HP, 100 special defense. And yes, Calyrex is faster, but we are talking about Mega Rayquaza. Choice Scarf. The only thing that Calyrex has over it is Focus Sash, but like if you were going Focus Sash for Focus Sash, I don't know. I definitely see that going Calyrex's way more often than Rayquaza's way, but it depends. Because Rayquaza obviously can one-shot Calyrex, but it's almost always running a fucking Focus Sash, so... I started a quest with somebody? What's your deal? The spot closest to heaven in one circle. It's 12 o'clock. Okay, I could do that. Here. You're in Wild Zone 3. Is this Litlio's here? Oh my god. Shut up, Litlio. +2 special attack? Draining Kiss? I mean, maybe. I mean, that's under the assumption it's already at +2 special attack. I feel like that's kind of like saying... I don't know. I can't think of a comparison. It's like, yeah, Moxie Crocodile is better than Intimidate Crocodile, because if the Crocodile has +5 attack, it's gonna one-shot the other one. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily a fair way to judge it. Like, obviously, it can get that +2 more easily than a lot of other Pokemon because of Spectral Neigh, but, like, still. I don't know if it's fair. Sash plot or redirection. I mean, that's fair, but let's rock under the assumption that the Calyrex and the Rayquaza are on the field at the same time. It's not particularly easy to get away with that. It's definitely easier nowadays than it used to be. I feel like they're kind of making random-ass Pokemon. Like, again, making Pokemon like Indeedee good, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Indeedee is a lame fucking Pokemon. But I don't think it's crazy to argue that that's a particularly good counter for Mega Rayquaza. I don't see it making Mega Rayquaza non-viable just because of, you know. But that's a damage calc that would have to be run. I would imagine that a +2 Draining Kiss would kill, but I don't think you're worried about Draining Kiss, because you know what does more damage to a Rayquaza than a Draining Kiss? Astral Barrage. You can't just think in super effectives. Astral Barrage is significantly higher power, isn't it? Just 100. It's just 100 power, 100 accuracy, isn't it? It's 120 power. Yeah, no. That's doing a lot more damage than a Draining Kiss. Farigiraf is your GOAT for Gen 9 doubles. It's one of the best Trick Room setters. This is canon. Metatite does only eat 1 berry a day. I mean, yeah, Armor Tail's a disgusting ability, but I think pairing it with Trick Room is particularly good. Because priority is like the main way to break through a Trick Room team that's been set up. If you have a team that doesn't particularly succeed in terms of slowness. So I'd make the argument that Armor Tail already being a goated ability, but it is even better like when you're using it particularly for Trick Room, which makes it an amazing pairing to be able to get both. Oh, I scared the Cleffa, that was funny. I used first impression and went, oh! Come on, let's go, I'm goated. Like, why do they do this to themselves, bro? Oh, let's go, Tarnish! He took the bullet for me, he said, Mr. President, get down! I'm clipping that was funny. Oops. These Spritzy look duller than I remember. Ally switch for a graph? I don't hate that. Ally Switch is in general a really fun move. I don't really run it on many Pokemon. Mostly because, to be honest, most of the Pokemon battling that I do online is not ranked. I mostly run multi-battles against randoms with Nate. That's just my favorite format. It's fun, and we always are airing our grievances to each other about how annoying it is that there has never been, and probably never will be, a ranked ladder for multi-battles. Because we would high-key own that shit. Because we're tapped in. We're locked in mentally. We know what we're doing. We know what we run. We know what we like. And we're pretty fucking good at it. We actually started keeping our records recently. Our favorite team to run is a Sun team that we've built up. But... So our Sun team, since we started keeping records this August, our Sun team is 8-3, and Nate and I as a whole are 33-14. Pretty good. All right, see you in a minute, Neon. So our record's decent. That 8-3 was those two of those losses were rough ones. It really should be 10-1. They were losses on some bullshit RNG. That's how it goes, though. It's part of the game, unfortunately. Albeit an annoying part of the game. It's part of the game. That's for sure. I just realized I never changed categories. I'm so bad at remembering to change categories on Twitch. I'm gonna get banned, bro. And then I'm gonna forget to change it back to just chatting if we do some reacts later. What does this big fella want? What do you want, Lugo? You're hiding behind a tree. Do you have elves? Like what? Your helpers are on the small side? Can I just give you an alpha go-goat? Technically, they have the XL size classification. I might have an alpha skiddo. Oh, no, not anymore I don't, because I released every fucking Pokemon I have. Alright, I'll talk to you later, Lugo. Fuck off and kill yourself. Asking me for shit. Hey, wait a minute. Are you the author person that made a story? I didn't think I did this side quest off stream. Oh my god. Was the Sun team used against me a while back? Well, no. Because that was just me. It had some of the same Pokemon, though. But that was just me. Nate has, vastly different Pokemon than I do. So 3 of the Pokemon I was using in that weren't really set to be used in a Sun team. A Fairy type, a Dragon type, an Alpha, and another Alpha. Oh, I could use AZ's Floette. That could be cool. I'm seeing if I have any other cool fairy types. Whoops. I think I'm gonna use AZ's Floette. Alright. Fairy type, Dragon type, and 2 alphas. Our Dragon type is most definitely going to be Fred Sharkman. Our Fairy type shall be Floette. And our alphas will be Todson and Warden. Yeah. Dragon type, Fred Sharkman. Yo, what's up, Sheem? Fucking. I'm not. Merry Christmas, bro. Get any W gifts? Warden's gonna be a recurring character. That's a little bit better. Bro, that happens to me OD. Alright, hold on. This is gonna be crazy. Ready? This is gonna be W. This guy wrote a fire book off stream in a different side quest. Trust. Floette is in love with Fred Sharkman. Fred Sharkman is in love with Warden. Warden is in love with Todson. And of course Todson is in love with Floette. It's just it's a love square. It's no mere triangle, it's an endless love loop. What do you think? Brilliant, isn't it? That's the whole thing. Seriously? No, wait, this won't do. An endless love loop offers no resolution. Oh god. I should have just said it was good. Oh no, okay. Once in the city of Lumios, there existed two competing schools dedicated to the martial arts. One was founded by Warden, distinguished by hard, unyielding strikes. The style was known as the Path of Tawny. Okay. The other was founded by Todson, specializing in fleet, flowing movements. This style was known as the Way of Daniel. Shiny Fighting Donut, should I go for Embor? I mean, Shiny Embor is elite, so I would. Both schools put their desire to become strongest above all else in life. Their members vowed to have nothing to do with the other style, except in battle. All who followed the Path of Tawny were bound to view the Way of Daniel's followers as mortal foes, and vice versa. Governed by that one unbreakable tenet, it was a hard-knock life in these schools of hard knocks. Show me until if I have Blaziken. I mean, depends how much more you like Blaziken than Embor. I think I like Embor more than Blaziken. I also think it's pretty inarguable that Embor's shiny is 1,000,000 times better. It came to pass that a match was declared. Floette of the Tawny style versus Fred Sharkman of the Daniel style. This battle would decide once and for all which school was strongest. Everything was on the line. Whichever school was defeated would be honor-bound to disband. Yet the two Pokemon selected at the school's champions had a singular problem. They were in love. Floette and Fred Sharkman were desperately in love. They had broken the one rule that must never be broken, meeting in secret, outside of battle. On the night before the fateful match was to be held, Floette and Fred Sharkman's eyes met. They knew there was but one option. Together, they fled into the night. So begins their thrilling story of love on the lam. Their very lives on the line as they flee pursuit. You know what? That was a lot better. I have to admit my own experience with romance is limited, so perhaps my novel will lack realism. You and me both, man. You and me both. Bro, this game is great. I'll admit my experience with romance is limited. Immediately got a pig. Oh, well, yeah, shit. W's. But I think it'll be a tale for the ages, don't you? I'll be confident this time. That shit was gas. Oh, he died and vanished. Hey, I'm Charlie. Did that guy just turn into sand? Ball knowledge chat? Was that niche? There's so many side quests in this game. I've done a number on them recently, though. I have. Trust. Let's get Floette out the party. I don't even know what to do, bruh. Should we do some reacts or maybe hop off Pokemon? Any suggestions, chat? I don't really have anything to shiny hunt. I think I do have a fire donut, so I could reset to find Blaziken. Not out of the cards. I do like Blaziken. It would probably be a quick hunt, I would imagine. Sparking Power Steel, Sparking Power Normal, Dragon. No, I'm tripping. I do not have a fire type one. I'm trying to think what other Pokemon I want to hunt in this game, because I keep thinking that I've thought of all of them, and then I think of another one. Like, I thought that Cofagrigus and Runerigus were it. And then I was like, oh no, I still want to get Blaziken. But I don't know what else I still want to get. I still don't even know every Pokemon that was added, that was, like, put in the DLC. I don't know what these Pokemon are right here. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's it. Okay, so there's one line that I don't know. I don't know what these Pokemon are here. And we can fill in the rest of the blanks. That's Primeape, Annihilape, Porygon 2, Porygon Z, Palisand, no idea, no idea, no idea, Overquill, Sceptile, Melodic, Doxbun, Crobat, Virizion, Terrakion, Keldeo, I think, is in the game. I don't know what these two are, but I'm assuming they're just other mythicals. If it's Gen 5, oh, it's Meloetta. Yeah, it's Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect, and then this is Marshadow. I know Marshadow's in this game. They should have just made the mythicals shiny huntable, bro. Pissing me off for no reason. Like, why do you gotta pull some fuck shit every fucking time? Hello, ma'am. Your name is Scent. Again, very on the nose. I could be a bit of a perfumer. I've always thought Spritzy was kind of cool, but I fucking hate Aromatisse. I don't think that's how that works, ma'am. Alright, I definitely have that on me, bro. What? Off you try. Toddson? You know what to do. Kill her. Oh, I wish I could lock on. Use first impression. Do it. Fucking use first impression on her. Yo, what's up, Neon? W shower? I'm missing one Akaberry. I need one fucking Akaberry, bro. Shiny Phalanx, nice. Yeah, Marshadow does have a really cool shiny. It is kind of stupid that you can only see it in its attack animations, but I do think it's pretty cool. I don't know where to get fucking Akaberries. Chat, does anybody know if I could buy Akaberries anywhere? That would be useful info. Go to a place you buy mints? Oh shit. Is it like where you buy like hella mints? Like where there's a bunch of stands? Like, where is that? Over here, I think. Primal Kyogre, Origin Pulse, and Tepig is the funniest shit. Origin Pulse looks so fucking cool in this game. Okay, it is not here. Where's the area where all the shit is? Oh, I think it's like right by it, I think. I want to find it. Like a big boy. Is this it? I think this might be it. I'm not positive though. Let's check over here. I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna check it anyway. I wish they kept the sketchy alleys in this game. I thought that was like a cool little aspect in X and Y in Lemio City. Especially because you could battle in them. That battle scene, like the scenery that you see in the battle, was really cool. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to do that in this game, but I did appreciate that. Where the fuck am I going? Bro, I'm being stubborn, not looking it up. I probably should. I've been there before. I know it's in like this, like a very broad general area on the left side of the map, but I'm forgetting exactly where. This has to be it, right? Hell alpha is that? Swirlix. They're just not that good, like in many ways. Is it this area or is it the other one? I never remember. And you don't have Akaberries. Oh, you have EV berries. That is good to know. Actually, I know the other place that sells those, so it doesn't matter. Dude, how do you not go out of business? You got hella competitors. I think I remember where it is. I think it was further east than I was thinking. I think I may have located it. Yep. I remember shit. Still no Occa berries. What the hell? That's a cool spot for a distortion. I still hate that you can only buy berries by the one. Stupid. Oh my god. I can't wait to see the shiny primals in this game. I really can't wait to see shiny Mega Rayquaza in this game, though, to be honest. Why do you have to make this dumbass side quest multiple steps, bro? Oh, okay. It's not multiple steps. You're not gonna make me find the person. I appreciate that. You could do some work on your own. The other NPCs in this game need to learn that lesson, I think. Methinks. I'm kind of curious to see what this is over here. Arctibax. Oh, please tell me this is how I get Frigibax. I still have not seen one in a distortion. I'm guessing the bonus will be a Frigibax. She's got a spare one. Oh, if there's like actually gameplay to this, that would actually be kind of sick. There's no way they did that though. Alright, Freshwater 2, Soda Pop 3, Lemonade 4, Moo Moo 6, Water 2, Soda Pop 3, Lemonade 4, Moo Moo 6. We got this. There is gameplay to it. Three bottles of fresh water and 1 bottle of Moo Moo. That'll be $1,200. I kind of regret not getting the shiny Charmin Sword and Shield and doing raids. The odds were not good. Raid odds were the same as regular odds. Yeah, Shiny Ember is elite. Fresh water. Lemonade. That would be $600. Oh, you fuck. Lemonade, 400. Soda Pop, 300. That'd be 700. See ya. The fizzy one. Soda pop. That's 300. That's 700. That's 900. Okay, okay. 3 sodas is 900. Plus 1 water is 1100. Plus 1 lemonade is 1500. Plus a Moo Moo milk is... Wait, did he ask for a fresh water? It'd be 2100. Okay, he didn't ask for a Moo Moo milk. I mean, he didn't ask for a fresh water. So it'd be 1900. That would have been cool. I already like shiny failings though, so I'm not mad at them just keeping it. But there's more? The side quest is silly. I'm kind of happy they did it like this way though. I want to earn that Frigibax. A Grumpig? Grum? Grum? Okay, $1,000. A freshwater and a soda pop is not that. A soda pop and a lemonade is $700. A lemonade and a Moo Moo milk would be 1,000. Grub. I kind of love this side quest. Oh, fucking rich people. Can I just send out Toddson to put his claws through their eyes? Shiny Alpha Spinarak before a single shiny Ghastly. What is my charm doing? That's crazy. We got a surprise party coming up, so we got to get a ton of drinks. Oh, jeez. Alright, 65 fresh waters. Multiply that by 2. 65 times 2 is 130. Times 100 is 13,000. Alright, 13,000. 23 soda pops is 23 times 3 is 66. Nope, 69. Nice. 69 times 100 is 6,900. So we're at 19,900. 19,900. 28 lemonades. Well, 25 lemonades would be 10,000. Right? Because they're 400. So 25 of them would be 10,000. Another 4 of that, and I mean another 3 would be another 3 would be another $1,200. So it's 200. So if you add the 11,000 first, we're at 30,900 plus 200. We're at 31,100. Okay, 31,100. And 31 Moo Moo Milks. Well, 30 is easy. 30 times 600. So 30 times 6 is 180. Times 100 is 18,000. So 18,600 plus 31,100. So it's going to end in a 700. 31,000 plus 18,000 is $49,700. Make it quick, please. Fuck off and kill yourself. Whoa, looks like we've got a math whiz over here. I'll be back, so keep those counting skills sharp. I'm so sorry for whoever normally runs this place. You piece of shit. Oh my god, Zygarde. I think I might have to Mega Evolve you and use Nihilite on that guy's head. There's more? Oh my god. There isn't more. Thank goodness. Thanks, Pergola. Let's do a cash count. Let's. Alright, so I'm hoping my bonus is a Frigibax. Okay, I got fresh water sort of pop lemonade. No milk, no Moo Moo Milk though, because those are expensive. Those are racks. Whoa, nice clerking. Looks like I've got a retail rival in the making. $50,000! Whoa! I was hoping it would be a Frigibax though. Arctibax was practically turning my house into a fridge. Glad I went back to check. Thanks for watching the kiosk. Hope you come back as a customer next time. How do I get Frigibax? That side quest was really fun though. I actually like that a lot. Scarlet Violets train my eyes so well. I see most shinies before they make the noise. Yeah, me too. Scarlet Violet got super paranoid. I was like, oh, there's no shiny sparkle, so if I don't pay super close attention, I might not see it. Regardless of what the shiny is, you can always see it. I always blow it out of proportions. Like, the lighting is really weird in the caves, so I thought it would be hard to tell for Salandit. Super easy to tell. We're not doing this again, sir. Later. I'll do your quests later. You're asking too much of me right now, man. Shiny Slowpoke give me so much anxiety, I can't. That's a good point. I did actually shiny hunt Slowpoke in that game. You know what's crazy? This is just my level of ball knowledge. So, when I shiny hunted for Slowpoke, I actually found a shiny Slowbro. Obviously very easy to tell. So I was chilling. I was not shiny hunting anything. I was just going about my time around Casa Roya Lake, right? And I went past a Slowpoke and I was like, I was like, so I encountered it, and yeah, it was a shiny. I was very proud of myself for catching that, because that, as you just acknowledged, it is not easy to catch that. I just want to get a Frigibax. I'm debating if I want to fight this Ampharos. I kind of do. Every time I went by that lake, I checked 5 Slowpokes and actually got a shiny one time. Barely noticed. That just ingrains so much anxiety every time after that. Yeah, now that you know that you really can't tell the difference, you have no idea when you're running past a shiny. I think 2 ground types should be enough to handle this, especially when we got, like, partial dragon type for Alligator in the background, right? We should be fine with Garchomp and Golurk. Alright, Fred Sharkman. Let's get it. I think I definitely have more shinies in this game than I have in Scarlet and Violet. Ow. Alright, Fred Sharkman. 5 boxes is crazy. Dual Chop does not play games. Super low cooldown too. Look at that. Cooldown is perfectly. That's beautiful. You love to see that. Ooh. Oh wow, that hit? That's crazy. Damn, I was like, oh, 2 ground types will be enough. I'm forgetting that this is the dragon type and I have Fred Shark. Man, Dual Chop is insane. This will be the first time I get a final hit on a Rogue Mega with a non-Mega evolved attack. That's crazy. Pretty sure I did over 2,000 Masuda Sprigatito eggs over the span of 2 years and still haven't gotten one. Jesus Christ, that's annoying. I'm actually, I don't want to say mid-hunt, but technically mid-hunt. I started a shiny Sprigatito hunt forever ago. Never finished it. I'm not super far into it. I don't think I'm at odds yet. I think I'm maybe half odds. I used to be big into Masuda hunting. I don't love it anymore. I just hate having to have all the Pokemon on you and releasing them. It's just so annoying. Much less annoying with Pokemon Home, of course, but still. I'm probably not going to touch my Joy-Cons for a minute. This controller is very nice. I worry the material that the joystick's made of is going to wear quickly, but if it doesn't, then that's great. It feels like it might. It's not the same material as the Switch 1 Pro Controller, but that material got, like, kind of icky over time, so I don't know. Masuda, Hisuian, Arcanine, Sneasler, and Greninja, but haven't gotten Sprigatito, which I've been hunting pretty much since Scarlet and Violet came out. Bro, I know how it feels. I was on and off hunting Greninja for soft resets at the beginning of Pokemon Y for 4.5 years before I got it. I started that hunt in January of 2021. I got that Pokemon this August. And I started my shiny Electric hunt in July of 2021. And I still haven't gotten it. Technically not as long as Froakie. But the Froakie hunt was far more on and off. I spent a little under 120 hours shiny hunting Froakie. I'm, like, I think close to 450 hours into the Electric hunt. So, I'm hunting the Black 2. I've probably mentioned that a million times to you on stream, but that hunt has been a nightmare. I don't have much else to do in this game. I don't know, chat. What do you think? Do you think we hop off, maybe do some reacts, or just chat a little bit? I don't really got much to do in this. Yeah, 4x odds is rough, but I mean, for Electric, again, this is like in Pokemon Black 2, where the odds are 1 in 8,192. I'm on Phase 2, and Phase 1, I got after 21,177 encounters, and on Phase 2, I'm currently at 18,418 encounters. So, like, if we add that up, hold on. Oh, I accidentally multiplied them. If I divide this 39,595, almost 40,000 encounters, divide that by 8192. I'm technically 4.83x odds on 1 in 8192. So, trust me, I know what the shiny hunting pain can be like. That's happened to you several times. My first shiny in Scarlet and Violet was in my original playthrough of the game. I found a shiny Hoppip. I didn't use it on my team though. When it's a new gen, I only really like using new Pokemon, or at least new forms. So, I did not use what's it called? I did not use shiny Hoppip on that playthrough, but I do still have that thing as a Jumpluff, and I like to try to incorporate it into battles when I can. Obviously, Jumpluff is pretty not that good, but it's the thought that counts. Let me switch. On its frame drop for a sec, so just bear with me. All right, should be good. I can't feel my face. I want them to do a plush drop for some of the new megas. I'm surprised they haven't done that. Like, maybe the first time they didn't do any plush drops for starters. Like, they did the Hisuian. They made plushies for the Hisuian starters when Legends, like, for Legends Arceus. So I'm surprised they haven't done this for Mega Meganium, for Alligator, and Emboar. I really would like Mega for Alligator plushie. I also would really like a Mega Electros plushie and a Mega Golisopod plushie if they decide to make those. That would make me very happy, because I already have a Mega Rayquaza plushie. Then I could just have the Mega version of this whole setup. It probably wouldn't work the same, because they don't do sitting cuties of those forms. So they would just be too big to have set up the same way, but I could still try, that's for sure. Life-size Vaporeon and Gardevoir plushies, they clearly got their priorities straight, right? And Lucario. Don't forget about Lucario. The only life-size plushie that I'm here for is Altaria, because I think that's cool. I think they also the huge Spheal that they did. But, like, they've done a lot of cool, like, big plushies, but the life-size ones, priority is not straight. Like, the huge Wailord plushie I want really badly. The life-size Mareep is tough, though. The one thing that bothers me though is they'll make these plushies and they just can't really do true life sized ever, except for with like the Lucario and the Gardevoir and maybe the Altaria. Because like Mareep is canonically 2 feet tall. That Mareep plush that they made is like what, 5 feet? It's enormous. And like even tiny plushies, they make tiny plushies for a lot of stuff, like the ones I have right here. Goomy is canonically like 8 inches tall. They haven't made an 8 inch tall Goomy plush. If they do Lopunny next, they are so desperate. I don't think it's a desperation thing. I think it's a money grab thing. They don't need to do it. They just want that money. I wouldn't be surprised. It would be crazy. There's one rapper I listen to, Joey Valence. He's a pretty big fan of Pokemon. When they announced the Gardevoir life-size plushie, I saw his comment on their post. He just said, "Uh-oh." It's too good. When she touched yo ding-a-ling. Let's see if I can find anything worth reacting to, checking out. Ooh, I need to open this new Tyler the Creator song. I need to listen to the whole thing. I have not listened to the whole thing yet. I can't feel my face. Nope. Don't play copyrighted music, please. Thank you very much. Alright. Let's see. Is there anything worth reacting to? Not really. I'm not seeing anything in the recommended that's worth it. Chat, does anybody have anything they want me to check out? I mean, I have my watch later. I can always go through that. I like stockpiling reacts, but sometimes I don't like just snagging them. You know what I'm saying? I don't like just snagging them for like random times. I like having dedicated streams for some of these. I haven't done those in a while, so I don't know if that's like a valid strat, to be honest. But like I have like some hour plus ones though. Those reacts alone could be 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to watch like true crime stuff. Like, bro, it's Christmas. We're supposed to be jolly. Damn, it's all depressing ass shit, bro. I'm scrolling through my fucking. It's either like depressing true shit or like scary shit. It's Christmas though. I mean, it's not Christmas now for me. It's 1:15 a.m. on December 26th, but it's still Christmas. Damn, it's really a lot of like scary shit. I made Pokemon connections. I feel like that's an off-stream watch. Minecraft is not a game. It's impossible to cheat Minecraft. We could check this. This video does seem pretty cool. Wait, I feel like I might have tried this video and it sucked. Let me. This is just one that I want to get it out of the playlist if it is the one that I'm thinking of. It is. Okay. I don't even need to let it load. I remember. All right, we're gonna get that out the playlist. I feel like I only really got one thing we could watch. Low key. It's called Minecraft is Not a Game, and the thumbnail says it's impossible to cheat Minecraft. It's by Fractal philosophy. Only been live 2 hours. Low key, we could just check this out and then call it. I know we didn't do anything particularly jolly or Christmassy, but that wasn't really the plan for the stream. I just wanted to get a stream in. I know it is Christmas, so that's what I'm saying, bro. Pokemon like Koraidon and Miraidon should not be allowed to Dynamax when Dynamax is in Champions, or they just shouldn't be allowed in formats that have Dynamax, I guess. Anyway, this is Minecraft is Not a Game by Fractal Philosophy. If we realize the video kind of stinks partway through, we'll probably just end stream. But I figured we could check out a cool react because I've only been live for 2 hours and I don't have anything else to do. So we're going to check this video out, chat. Let me know if the volume needs any adjusting.
Minecraft is not a game. It's a video game. But not all video games are games. They're a combination of 3 different things that may or may not include...
Ooh, Epic, remind me that when this video's over. I would totally do a Christmas song tier list.
Being a game. Now, of course, this just depends on how I'm defining what a game is.
That's a good idea.
But that's actually not an easy thing to do. One of the most influential philosophers of all time even called this impossible. And we're going to talk about both why he said that and why I think it's still practical to define games in spite of it. But before we directly talk about that, I want to start with a complaint that I've been holding on to for my entire life.
You check in your rule book, but you won't find anything in there that says a dog can't play.
He's right. Ain't no rules that the dog can't play basketball.
This is a crazy thing to say, right?
This is true.
Like, even if we accept the whole dogs playing basketball thing, America is a common law country. So that means we're setting precedent for other decisions to be made in the future. Suddenly, people think they're justified in strapping blades to the feet of chimpanzees and giving them sticks to hit children with.
Wait a minute. It's a monkey.
Of course, some games will have rules that prevent too big of abuses. Boxing should be alright with the addition of some new weight classes, and at a
Yeah, bro, 2 free throws for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
high level, lots of sports have rules that require blood work to be done to prevent doping, which is going to prevent a lot of non-humans from legally competing. So maybe we'd be alright. But the precedent being set here is not animals are allowed to play sports. It's anything not explicitly banned by the rules is allowed in a game. And this opens up way more possibilities than just fluffy critters on the field. Is your defense not cutting it in rugby? Start building defensive fortifications. Your opponent in chess keeps making moves you're not predicting? Just start gluing their pieces to the board and you can restrict their viable options. Falling behind in a game of League of Legends? Call your cousin who works at the server bank and start ripping out wires. Hey, I don't know, there was nothing that said you couldn't do that. What I'm getting at is that games always have some sense of what's fair and what's not, beyond the written rules. All games have an infinite number of ways to cheat that aren't necessarily stated. And assuming you agree with this statement, I have a follow-up question. How do you cheat at Minecraft? Normally, you would say cheating is something like being invincible or having infinite access to resources when you normally wouldn't. But in Minecraft, that's just called creative mode. I would hardly call a setting you can enable at the beginning of a game cheating. Maybe instead you hack into the game and modify the core functionality. That's normally cheating. But again, that's just playing modded Minecraft. There's nothing that makes that an unfair thing to do. There is no way to cheat because anything you could do to try to cheat is an equally valid way to play. And that's because Minecraft
I mean, that's kind of, that's like us having to, I feel like, what's the counter argument to me saying people who cheat in speedruns? Like Dream. Like people who have in mods that alter RNG and try to pass them off as legitimate speedruns. That's cheating at Minecraft. You know? Like you could argue it's a valid way to play the game, but if the purpose of it, if the ends is to submit a speedrun to get a world record, I don't know. Maybe it's different because we're talking about the rules of speedrunning as opposed to the rules of Minecraft. I mean, that's true, but I don't know if that's like a valid argument in this particular scenario.
It's not a game. It's a thing you play games in. Those games can be cheated at, but Minecraft in and of itself cannot.
Okay,
If you want to ask
well,
questions,
fuck me. He just immediately answered my fucking question. Okay, fuck you then, I guess. I see how it is. Just making me look like a fool. No. I agree with you. I think if you want to fudge your RNG to make your Minecraft playthrough go a little bit quicker for a YouTube video, you have every single right to do that. But if you're trying to pass it off as legitimate, especially in an official, formal format like speedrun.com, then it's cheating. But he just kind of defined it as like, there are games in Minecraft that you can cheat in, but you can't cheat in Minecraft as a whole.
it's like what makes games fun? What's the difference between a good and bad video game movie adaptation? Or how can we use games to make learning more enjoyable? This distinction between a game and a thing you play games in becomes very important. So what is a game then? First of all, a game needs an objective. Let's say we're trying to get from block A to block B. This is pretty easy on its own. So we can then add rules that restrict the methods you can use to accomplish that goal. Say we build a path and say you have to use that path to get from A to B. Now, there's a series of games we can create just on that
awesome,
one rule.
by the way.
If the path has a lot of jumps that are kind of complicated, we've made a parkour game. If it's a maze, it's now a puzzle. And if we add a bunch of monsters you have to fight while remaining on the path, it's a combat challenge.
Game.
The combination of a goal with rules that restrict how you can accomplish that goal is what make these games. But whether or not they're fun games depends on how difficult that rule is. If we just make a straight path between A and B, then it's trivially easy. It's not fun to just hold the W key and win. And on the flip side, we can also add restrictions so much that it's impossible to accomplish the goal. And this is also not fun, because there's no point in even trying. There's a theory in psychology called the flow state, which is this idea that your brain is optimally engaged when it's challenged enough to not be bored, but not...
It's the curve of like how challenging something must be for you to enter the flow state, for you to like really lock in and like be like fully immersed in what you're doing. If something's too easy, you're bored. If it's too difficult, you're stressed. But if you're in the middle, you're challenged but able to succeed. And that like kind of is the lock-in mechanism.
Challenge so much that it's overwhelmed. And within games, we can see that people modify rules to achieve this. When a game is too hard, you can remove rules to make it more fun. Take bumper bowling, where you remove the normal bowling rule of gutter balls to make it more fun for kids. And when a game is too easy, you can add more rules to keep it interesting. There's lots of people who grew up playing Pokemon and really enjoyed it, but now find it too easy to be enjoyable as adults.
Nuzlocke.
So there's a number of fan-made rules you can add to Pokemon to make it more challenging and therefore fun for a more advanced player. And you can really do this with anything. Adding extra rules to make for an interesting challenge is a whole genre of channels here on YouTube, whether that be for traditional games like video games or board games, or adding rules to make things that are traditionally not games into games. Something like an interesting challenge for movie.
That is one thing, chat, that it's not a guarantee. I'm not 1000% opposed to it, but I can almost certainly assure to you I would never do for a streamer video the Doug challenge. I could maybe if I had a posse of people with me, but I can't do the fast food challenge. No.
Making. All of these are people who are in the
Give me to
spirit
1 million
of playing a
subscribers,
game,
and then we'll
adjusting the rules in order to make a fun game. This is the essence of what philosopher Bernard Sweets would call having a losery attitude, which is the final component necessary for something to be a game. And if you'll bear with me, I think this is best explained with a brief tangent about American history.
What are we watching? This is a video called Minecraft is Not a Game. From a philosophical standpoint. Well, that's not in the title, but that's kind of like the angle that he's approaching it from. Pretty interesting. We're going to do this, and then Epic suggested a ranking Christmas songs tier list. So we're going to do that after, and then we'll probably end stream. But the video is still got another 25 minutes, roughly.
This song, America the Beautiful, is written about the view from the mountain Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak isn't the tallest mountain in the US, but it's taller than anything around it, and so the views from the top of it are pretty incredible.
That is crazy.
Unfortunately, Pikes Peak's a real pain to get to. To get there from the closest town, you have to take the Bar Trail, which is 11.5 miles, or 18.5 kilometers if you use a reasonable measurement system in your country. And that's not 11.5 miles of easy terrain either. It's a pretty difficult hike, and the entire time you're in a low oxygen environment.
This is the part in the script where I'm supposed to have like a Tom Scott style.
No shade. Baby hands. No shade. It's okay to have baby hands. I'm just making an observation that you have baby hands. Shout out to this guy, though. Subscribe to Fractal Philosophy.
Talk to the camera a bit, but I am way too asthmatic to do that right now.
Sorry, picking up recording from home, it was the case that the only way to get to Pikes Peak was via the Bar Trail. But at some point, that changed. Because around the same time that song was written, in the 1890s,
really cool.
Something new came to the mountain. They built
trolley?
a train that takes you all the way from the
That's
nearest
cool.
town to the top of the summit without ever having to
Train is
do
a strong
any
word
exhausting
for that.
climbing. It's complete with a cafe at the top and a conductor that makes bad jokes on the way up.
Rocks are very precious to us here in Pikes Peak region, so please, don't take it for granted.
But despite having the option of every luxury you could ask for, people still
not a
do
good
the
one.
difficult hike. They've even carved out a more steep section to make a harder version of the same hike. The hikers at Pikes Peak have an objective. They're trying to get to the top of the mountain. And they have rules. They're following the path and trying to get there in a certain amount of time. Hikers are playing the game of hiking. So just because there's a more efficient way to achieve their original goal of getting to the top, they're not going to do it because they have an attitude of wanting to hike. When you're playing a game, you're not just trying to achieve an objective. You're intentionally trying to achieve an objective in a certain way in order to have fun doing it. The entire point of you playing this parkour map in Minecraft...
I think the where video games differ is that, like, the way that you achieve the thing, at least in most games, the way that you achieve the thing is kind of predetermined, you know? Like, for example, the hiking example is like, a hiker could take the train, but they're not going to because their goal is to reach the peak via hiking, via the trail, etc., etc., etc. If you're playing a Souls-like, Elden Ring, your goal is to, you know, get... Okay, hold on, bad example. Let me think of something else. Because I haven't played Elden Ring. My lazy ass wouldn't do either. I would just watch this vid from home. I mean, shit. Let me try to think of a better example of a game. Forza. You want to get... Let's just say you're not even racing. Let's say you're playing Forza Horizon and you want to get from one side of the map to another part of the map. You don't have a choice but to drive, you know? Like, obviously you're playing to get there via driving, but the means to the end is predetermined for you. I think there are plenty of games where that doesn't apply. Like, I'd say Minecraft. There are many different ways to go about beating Minecraft. but I don't know. I don't know. Let's see.
Is to have to jump over these obstacles. So if you do something that subverts your need to jump over the obstacles, you're not playing the game anymore, or at least you're playing a different game. So in addition to needing an objective and rules to play a game, you also need this losery attitude, an attitude that says you're playing this game in order to play it. You don't really care about the objective at the end of the day. And this is what gives rise to those unwritten rules we talked about every game having. You don't need an infinite amount of rules, because anything that sabotages the core...
No. The last bit of progress I ever made on Tears of the Kingdom is whatever the last thing I streamed was like a year and a half ago. I don't want to say I never plan to beat it, but I don't see myself returning to it anytime soon. I don't know why, but I just did not fall in love with it and was not hooked like I was with Breath of the Wild. Especially puzzle sections just got frustrating to a point where I just wasn't enjoying them in some sections in some ways. And by plural, I mean really just the one that I ended up stopping at. I just was like done, and I just kind of got bored of it. Like I wasn't frustrated or angry that I couldn't figure it out. I just was uninterested in figuring it out by the time I had given up on it. So yeah, I put that game down indefinitely. I don't want to say it's bad. It's a phenomenal game still. It's just like it couldn't capture what Breath of the Wild did. I don't know, maybe if it came out first, I would think of it as great as I think of Breath of the Wild, but I don't know, it did a lot of new stuff that Breath of the Wild didn't have, but it's just something about Breath of the Wild I can't put my finger on. Thought it was much more fun than Breath of the Wild. I disagree, but I also don't know why. I can't back up my claim at all.
Thing you're trying to do is going to be cheating, even if it's not explicitly banned and might get to the objective more efficiently. So that's what a game is. And hopefully that definition makes my initial statement of Minecraft is not a game a little more clear. But I'm sure some of you are already thinking, and have maybe already commented, a valid critique to this, which is, what gives you the right to define what a game is?
That's
like,
fair.
There's plenty of situations of people calling something a game that doesn't fit this. For example, the academic field that is the study of games is called ludology, which is called that despite the fact that no one has ever heard of that word before, because mathematicians had already taken the term game theory, wherein they define game as a totally different thing than what I'm talking about here. Even if we're just talking about Minecraft, people are going to use the term game differently. Like, literally, if you want to download the app, you go to the website and click on the section titled Games. So obviously Microsoft has a different concept of what a game is than I do if they're including Minecraft. The famous philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein even goes as far as saying that it's impossible to define what a game is. You can have a sense of what it means, but it's going to be different in every context in which you'd use it. So you can't have a single definition.
I think it's to a point of just like some words or definitions are so fundamentally understood that it's really hard to explain why they're understood in certain ways. Like I think one way I try to think about it is like try to teach someone what the word yes means, assuming they haven't heard it, which means they also probably haven't heard words that are more advanced than yes. I don't think you can define yes with words that are less or as that are less complex or as basic. Or let me rephrase. You can't define the word yes with words that are as basic or more basic than the word itself. So I'm saying that because imagine trying to teach someone what the word means. You can't do that using bigger words, like an affirmation of agreeance, you know? Like, yo, Neon, I'll catch you. See you around. I'll probably be live tomorrow. We'll see. The fact that there is the building thing makes it so you can truly do whatever you want, however you want. I mean, yeah. But so do you guys get what I'm getting at with this yes example, or am I losing you? I don't know, but it's to a point. Like again, it's a basic concept that's generally understood. But if you asked me to define game, I don't know how I would answer. I would probably say, that this is like the field that I'm studying, and I would probably say something like, shit. something that is done for the sake of enjoyment that involves the consumer's participation. That's probably how I would phrase it. I wouldn't get into the nitty-gritty about what someone's attitude is and the specifics of it having to have a goal. Although obviously that's something that I understand and that is true. That's not how I would approach it. I guess that's because I'm not approaching it from a philosophical angle, I guess. Because I'm not a philosopher. I actually took one philosophy class and I hated it. But I don't know, this is interesting to me though.
So why am I sitting here trying to give a single definition of what a game is when one of the most famous philosophers of all time is saying that that's an impossible thing to do? So first of all, I want to note that he doesn't actually say this about the word games. He says this about the word Spiel, because he's writing all this in German. And I realize this is the third video in a row I'm referencing that translations don't perfectly convey meaning, but I think it is still important to reiterate. And in addition to that, I think it's also important to emphasize that Wittgenstein
it's a structured activity that is done for entertainment. Yeah, I think that's a good
philosopher.
That's a good
He wasn't
definition.
a linguist who studied how language works, and he wasn't a game developer as much as that existed at the time he was alive. He's not someone who really cares all that much about games. He's using this as an example of words having more contextual meaning than we talk about. So in different contexts, what a game means can be a different thing. And he's making this point because a number of very famous philosophers, say Plato, for example, spend a lot of time trying to define things. Plato tries to do things like define what justice is, where he'll break down a single definition and then apply that to different scenarios. But what Wittgenstein is saying is you can't do that. What a word means is dependent on the context. Game means a different thing if you're talking about board games versus ball games versus gambling games. So justice will mean a different thing in a different context. You can't define it first and then apply it to the thing later. You have to look at each individual scenario and figure out what justice means in that case. And this actually lines up really well with a debate in linguistics, which is prescriptivism versus descriptivism, where prescriptivism prescribes rules for how language is supposed to work, whereas descriptivism tries to look at the way language is being used and then formulate rules based on that. So, for example, it has to be the prime minister. They are the only one who can start the meeting. A prescriptivist might look at this and say, this is ungrammatical, and you should instead say, it has to be the prime minister, he or she is the only one who can start the meeting. A prescriptivist will have rules they define ahead of time. In this case, that they is the third person plural pronoun, and so can't grammatically be used in this context. As opposed to a descriptivist who will say, people use they as a singular pronoun all the time. And because people use it like that, it's a valid way to use it like that. And pretty much every formal linguist thinks like this, because when you think about language, it's intersubjective, by which I mean no one person defines how language works. Like, I can invent a word florp and say it means something like a weirdly shaped car, but if no one else knows what I mean when I say florp, that's not really language. On the flip side, even if no one else agrees with us, if me and you agree what florp means, then we're successfully communicating and using language when I say, look at that florp over there. No individual one of us can define the rules, but as a collective, we can between us determine how language works. But having this attitude of language works however language is used makes it a lot harder to formulate models for this kind of stuff. Like, it's really simple to say that they is only the third person plural pronoun, while it's a little more complicated to say it could also be a singular pronoun. But it's actually more complicated than that, because it's not just a singular pronoun, it acts like a plural pronoun. The thing being referenced is the prime minister. The prime minister is the only one to do it, but we don't say they is the only one who can do it. We say they are the only one who can do it. The verb still acts like it's plural. So to correctly model this, we have to say there's some distinction between plurality in semantics versus plurality in syntax. And as with everything, this is going to get more complicated as you add more languages to integrate into this model. Take Arabic, where instead of just having a singular and plural pronoun, there's also dual pronouns, where there are exactly two people. So even just looking at two languages, we already have a pretty complicated
not
set of
seeming
rules
like it
to
right
describe
now, if I'm gonna
plurality.
be honest.
So if we want to have some descriptive model that could describe any possible language,
seeming
we'd eventually
like
get
it.
to this unrecognizable mass of a million rules and a million exceptions. So descriptivism, describing language as it's actually used, is certainly more accurate to what's actually happening, but it's a lot more complicated than just positing a definition. And so while this might anger all the linguistics professors who taught me in college, I think there is value to just using the simpler model in a practical situation. And that's what I'm doing with the word game. By saying Minecraft is not a game,
There
what
it
I'm
is,
really
blocking.
saying is Minecraft is not a game for my definition of what a game is, which is kind of generic enough to mean anything. Like, I could just as easily say Minecraft is torture for certain definitions of what torture means. But what I'm going to argue for is that it's not just an arbitrary definition, it's a useful one. Being prescriptivist allows you to posit a definition that you think is practical. And I genuinely think this way of thinking about what a game is helpful for designing and analyzing games. Like in a previous video, I made this model of how empires rise and fall. I would argue, by my definition, this is not a game. There's no objective and there's not really any rules. You can just kind of spin around a globe and watch it run by itself. But if I want to make it a game, the definition gives me a framework to build off right away. I need to add a goal. Maybe you want to make an empire of a certain size. And then I need rules that constrain how you do that. So you can't just arrive at that goal automatically. You need to have some ways you can influence it and build towards it. And that needs to be somewhat difficult in some manner. At least for the type of creative person I am, that's a really helpful direction to start with. So maybe I should title this video, Minecraft is not a game, asterisk, for certain definitions of games that are practical in this use case. I'll be honest, I don't think that's quite as snappy, but what do I know?
No,
So we
definitely
have a
not.
definition for what a game is, and we have the justification for why we're using that definition. But there's still a pretty obvious unanswered question. If Minecraft's not a game, what is Minecraft? In the beginning of this video, I said that
Blocks.
Minecraft is a video game, but video games aren't necessarily games. And in a normal understanding of
man.
English, that's a little weird. You would expect video to be describing the type of game it is, given its position in the sentence. But I'm positing that video game here is a compound word, like greenhouse. A video game is not a game, in the same way a greenhouse is not a house. But despite that, a house can have a greenhouse in it, and in a similar vein, a video game can have a game in it. So I'm going to posit that video games have three main components. And this is one of those necessary but not sufficient to be a video game type things. Those three components being a game, a simulation, and a story. Most video games have a mix of all three of these elements, but I think you can be a video game by having only one. So my software from last video, which we already mentioned is not a game, I would still call a video game under this category
I'm
of simulations.
trying to follow.
Like, it has interactive 3D graphics, there's some mechanics of things going on, and it's made in a game engine. Other video games that would purely fall in this category would be things like Universe Sandbox or BeamNG Drive. There's no inherent game to them, and there's definitely not a story, but like, you can buy them on Steam. I think it's reasonable to call these video games. Then to fully switch to the story category, I think you can also comfortably call visual novels video games. And some people might disagree with this, but like, Steins Gate is a visual novel. It's basically just a picture book that you press a button to advance the pages in. There's no mechanics that would make me call this a simulation at all. There's no real game that you're trying to play. And despite all that, I was able to walk into a normal electronics shop in Japan, go to the video game section, buy a Switch cartridge of this, and play it on my Nintendo device. So at least I'm comfortable calling this a video game. And then finally, some video games are just a game without anything really being simulated and without any real story. I think rhythm games fit this really well. There's a goal and some rules, and you just have to do it or fail. And then more abstract puzzle games also fit this well. You have one objective that is told to you, and you just have to solve it. So those are the outer edges of this model, and then most video games will fill in with some combination of all three. And the utility of this model is we can look at how each of these axes affect one another.
He says, but
So for how games
struggling.
affect stories, we already talked about how the losery attitude
think I got the
makes you ignore
graph,
certain
though. I think
things
that
when
part I
playing the
understand.
game. The hikers were playing the game of hiking, so didn't care about another method of getting to the top of the mountain. Similarly, someone playing a shooting game is not going to care about other ways ways to resolve a conflict, which can be really good if you want to do a story about violence. Like, I don't think I would have liked Hotline Miami's serial killer extreme violence vibe in a normal story, but in a fun action game, I was totally okay with it.
Fucking sick.
But you have to watch out, because if the game doesn't align with your story, then the thing that people will be ignoring is your story. This happened to me playing Haste, a video game all about going as fast as you can and maintaining momentum as you navigate tricky terrain. When the story had the main character get depressed and listless, I just didn't care. I didn't want to pause and contemplate what was going on and empathize. I just wanted to speed through everything and keep going with the fun movement. So here, the game sabotaged my interest in the story, which in the jargon is called ludonarrative dissonance. Stories and simulations also have interesting
Literally,
interactions. Like, for example, knowing that a simulation exists can encourage you to try to explore the possibilities within it. So Mass Effect simulates some level of character choices instead of just being a static story. And these character choices are set up within a simulation that gives you good or evil points. The knowledge that an evil path exists will encourage players to try that out.
I need to breathe for like a second. This is just a lot. It's not bad. It's not necessarily overwhelming, but we're getting to the. It's whelming, and the seas are rising. That's what I'll say.
Even if they normally wouldn't be interested in a story with an evil protagonist. This is taken to extremes with so-called sandbox games, which have a ton of this simulated complexity, and don't have a game that they tell you to play at all. It's up to you to figure out the game you're playing on your own. It can sometimes be hard to figure out fun things to do, but that's where story can come in to help. Take Universe Sandbox, a astrophysics simulation with no inherent story or game. There's cool things you can do with this, like smashing planets together, but it's up to you to come up with them. Compare that to Kerbal Space Program, which is also about astrophysics, but has this narrative of building a space agency and exploring the universe. So the story encourages all these goals that you should have. You should try to orbit around the planet and get to the moon and then land on other planets. Kerbal Space Program is a deep enough simulation you could do a lot of other stuff in this software, but the narrative encourages you to do space exploration. Games like The Sims, RimWorld, or Crusader Kings take this a step further because part of what the simulation is simulating is characters and storylines. When in the simulation, some guy kills my brother, it encourages me to have the goal of getting revenge. These story elements can help imply a goal for you to accomplish, and then the simulation provides both the means to do it and the rules you have to follow in order to accomplish it. And importantly, whether it's a simulation or not is not a binary statement. It's a spectrum, where the further we move along this simulation axis, the more mechanics and complexity we add. And those mechanics and complexity give more options within games. Hotline Miami is not much of a simulation, so when police show up, you have to kill them. All that there is to do is accomplish the game of shooting the things. But in Grand Theft Auto, which has a lot more simulated elements, you have some options of what you can do. You could get in a shootout with the police, or you could try to hide from them, or you could get in a big car chase. It's simulating a whole city, so you can use that whole city to accomplish the goals in the game. Damn! And then finally, we have interactions between the simulation and the game. In a similar way to how games make you care more or less about aspects of a story, they can make you care more or less about different mechanics of a simulation. If certain mechanics are helpful for the game you're playing, you're going to engage with them a lot more. Whereas if they're not very helpful, you're going to ignore them. So, for example, a lot of RPGs have a crafting system.
This is common sense, but is nice to be to hear put into words to understand. GTA 6 about to be peak. It's got to be one of the best video games of all time. If it's not, it's a letdown.
System that I generally totally ignore unless the combat gets hard enough that I feel like I can't win without it. And as a designer, this can really suck. If players find a valid strategy to beat the game, they're going to ignore all the mechanics you spent a lot of time building. Soren Johnson, one of the lead designers on a number of Civilization games, called this players optimizing the fun out of the game. So a well-designed video game will have a game within it that encourages you to utilize all the mechanics that they've built
bro,
in
if
their
it's
simulation. A good example of this is Chicory. Chicory is a video game about painting, and while the main quests use painting and a lot of Zelda-style puzzles, the side quests intentionally have very little game to them. There's rarely any objectives beyond the vague make a painting, and they don't use rules to restrain how you're allowed to paint things. There's, to some extent, a game in make a painting using a limited toolset instead of something like Photoshop, but Chicory never sets hard targets, like draw a painting with 25% of it covered in blue. And that's because when you set up a game like that, players will just try to win the game. So they'll just smear some blue on the page and call it done. Whereas if you say, make a painting, literally anything's fine, then people will tend to be more self-expressive. There's nothing they're trying to optimize for, it's just whatever you want to do. The developer of Chicory did a really good talk about this at the Game Development Conference, which I encourage you to check out. And there's also a cool guy in the Q&A section who was at the time struggling with some social anxiety. So we try to cut him a bit of slack.
I'm wondering if you have any thoughts for how do you encourage creative problem solving, where you want people to solve problems, but in creative ways, or if maybe that's kind of doesn't quite fit in this framework.
It's a really interesting question.
Now, past Greg gives a nice answer to my question there, but I've spent the last 2.5 years working on this model in order to answer it in a way I find satisfying. So let's do that. I'm going to define creative problem solving here as coming up with a clever, original solution that's unexpected in some manner. And I think strictly the only thing you need to be able to do this is a deep enough simulation. You need a sufficiently big possibility space for things you can do in order to have some of those be unexpected. But as we mentioned, when playing a game, players will tend to find the simplest solution they can and then stick with that. It doesn't matter if it's tedious or not fun, players will tend to do it if it's effective. So we need our game to have a difficult enough objective or rules to eliminate all the easy solutions. But as we mentioned, if you make a game too hard, it's not going to be enjoyable for people. So ideally what you have is you have a base game that is somewhat easy and manageable, but then you use your story or mechanical depth to encourage players to take on challenges that seem nearly impossible, requiring them to use creative problem solving to figure them out. I think great examples of this are things like pacifist runs in RPGs or extreme constraints in engineering games. These aren't things you should expect every player to do, but well-crafted simulations and stories can imply that it's a thing you could try. And a deep enough simulation can provide unexpected solutions to what feel like impossible challenges. And overcoming difficult challenges like this that seem impossible at first is, in my opinion, one of the best experiences you can have when playing a game.
Doomed, detected, and
Damn.
So hopefully that helps show why I think this is a useful framework for
Wailing on
analysis.
that bitch.
And while this is something that I just made on my own, I think it has a lot of connections to other people's theories of how games work. For example, I think it pairs really nicely with how the Magic the Gathering team talks about player archetypes. They've come up with 3 main archetypical players, or mindsets that players can have, and they line up really well with game simulation and story. The first archetype is Spike, who is the player who cares about winning above anything else. They'll find the most optimal strategy and use it as much as they can. In video games, these kind of players will follow the metagame super closely and don't care about engaging with mechanics or story. Next player archetype is Johnny, who is a player who doesn't care as much about playing optimally, but wants to play in interesting ways. Johnny's like finding some weird gimmick card and building a whole deck around that. And I think this lines up well in our framework of players who care much more about the simulation than anything else. They're fine not winning as often if they can do something interesting with the mechanics and engage with the simulation in a fun way. Like when I played Overwatch, I never cared if Lucio was a meta pick. I liked playing him because I thought his wall riding ability was really fun to use. Then the final archetype is Timmy, who doesn't care about winning optimally or doing some interesting mechanical thing, but just wants these big, cool-looking creatures to show up and smash his opponent. And I think you can map this to people who prioritize story above the other 2 aspects. I don't care that adding mech legs to my battleship is inefficient, I want to do it because it's cool. I don't care that Shadowheart always misses her spells, I want her in my party because I think she has a cool story. All this to say, while I think it matters how these things are designed in video games, there's a level at which the player's mindset is also crucial for what part they're getting. And it's important for designers to keep in mind that there are different players who are going to want different aspects of a video game in this way. So like I've said from the beginning, Minecraft is not a game in an arbitrary but I think useful way. Thinking of video games as a combination of a game, a story, and a simulation helps us analyze them in a way that I think brings to light some of the more complicated interplay within them, and shines a light on how different players can view a video game differently. Now, I didn't make up this definition of what a game is. This is more or less directly taken from Bernard Sweet's amazing book, The Grasshopper. I think it's genuinely my favorite book. It manages to be a philosophy book that's also really funny and has a lot of implications for making games, which is what I do for a job. I also only know about this book because of a footnote in a different book that I like, and that's part of the inspiration for why I like to directly reference other things you can go to read in these videos. The Grasshopper also has a whole section about the implication for this definition of games on society. A game is a thing you do in order to do it, not because you're trying to achieve some end. And in a world of generative AI, I think this idea is increasingly relevant. It's important to see the value in doing the hard thing just because you're doing it, even if there was some alternative method you could use to do it more efficiently. To a large extent, I'm making these videos because I want to make them. I'm not doing this for my job. But despite that, there's things I'm paying for, like that train ride up the mountain wasn't free. And support for that kind of thing is brought to you by viewers like you on Patreon. You can tell I watched a lot of PBS as a kid. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to doing other difficult things for the sake of doing them, and I hope you can continue doing the same.
Game Mike.
Good video. That was actually a very interesting video. Everybody subscribe to Fractal Philosophy. Christmas song tier list. Oh, that's already ranked. Alright. Finally got Gasoline, nice. Try to Christmas all the songs. Alright. All I Want for Christmas Is You. It'll go here. I think it's criminally overrated, but I'm not going to deny that it's good. A Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. Fucking hate it. Baby It's Cold Outside. Elite. Carol the Bells. Not great. Feliz Navidad. Elite. Frosty the Snowman. Fine. Frozen like the movie doesn't count. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Pretty horrible. Pretty terrible. Don't like that one. Hallelujah. I'm not even gonna do. Happy Christmas, War is Over. It's alright. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Good one. It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. Banger. It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. S tier. I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Sleeper. Jingle Bell Rock. S tier. Last Christmas. S tier. Let It Snow. It'll go there. Little Saint Nick. I don't hate it. Mary, Did You Know? Out of all the super Christ-like ones, this is probably my favorite. I wouldn't put it on a party playlist, but I'm gonna put it on that level. I'm gonna put it on that tier. I think that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good song. That's not what I grabbed. I meant to grab Mary, Did You Know? Michael Bublé, Just Him. I'm not gonna count all of Michael Bublé as a whole, so we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna rank this one. This is okay. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, certified classic. Come on now. Jingle Bell Rock needs to move up a little bit. Come on now. Don't Play With Me. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's alright. It's a little overrated, but it's still a classic. Santa Baby. Little too sexy for Christmas. Santa Claus is coming to town. If we're talking Jackson 5, that's one of the best ones out there. Silver Bells, not particularly a fan. Sleigh Ride, this is a pretty elite one. This is a pretty elite one. I mean, the Ella Fitzgerald version, the Chipmunk song. Let's be real. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. The Christmas song, the best Christmas song of all time. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson. Actually, kind of a banger. This can go here. White Christmas. Ooh. Low-key S tier. Winter Wonderland. I think that could go here. And Mr. Grinch, pretty good. The rest of these I'm not gonna rank. Thoughts, chat? We'll zoom in so you guys can actually see the songs. That's my Christmas song tier list. My rapid fire Christmas song tier list that I only rapid fired because I'm tired as fuck. It's 2 a.m. I gotta go to bed. I've been up since like 8:30. Shit. Alright, chat. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. And to those of you who don't celebrate, I hope you had a Happy Holidays. To my fellow Jews out there, I hope you had a good Hanukkah. I know that ended on Sunday, so it's been a little while. But my fellow Catholics and all other Christians out there, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Those of you who only celebrate the capitalist version of Christmas, kind of based, because that's kind of how I roll. So Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Deuces. That's a W outro.